Hello. Oh, crap. My name's Joey and welcome back to my tour of props and artefacts. Now, today, as I always say, I thought I'd do a video as a guide to a classic unit trooper. What uniform parts you need, and yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it. What uniform parts you need. Now, it's a very, very hot day, stupidly hot, and here I am more or less wearing a winter weight uniform. But there you go. So this is not a historical guide. This is a guide to the uniforms that the unit troopers wore in Doctor Who in the 1970s, which was supposed to be the 1980s. Now, first of all, I don't have much room. First of all, one of the criticisms of the unit troops has been that for the 1980s, even though it's set in the 70s, they're wearing smocks and uniforms and equipment more or less from the 60s. You know, why aren't they in camouflage? Well, I like the idea that they're not in camouflage because they're a specialist unit. They still have to kind of look a bit like a military organisation, but they're used to dealing with an alien threat. So aliens are going to see straight through camouflage. They're going to see in so many different visions, infrared, who knows what, you know. So the unit troops aren't in camouflage. They're there to create a presence and to deal with that alien threat. So first of all, this is a genuine deactivated SLR. I can't take this to conventions with me, but this was the rifle that a lot of them used. Chap with the wings there, 5 rounds rapid, that kind of thing. Also, you'll obviously spot these in remembrance of the Daleks. It's the same gun that Ace takes out an Imperial Dalek with. So let's start off with the cap, the beret. The beret is a reproduction, and because they're a specialist unit, this is an SAS beret, so it's nice to see the production team gave them a kind of specialist unit colour. So this is a reproduction of an SAS beret. So they wear an SAS beret, that's what you need to look for. The unit badge itself, this was a cloth badge that I attached to a classic safety pin badge. Now, technically, you may think it looks a bit too big, but it actually isn't, because the more you look into the unit uniforms, they change in every story. Even the Brigadier's outfit, sometimes he has a unit patch on his sleeve, sometimes he doesn't. So the unit badges, once you start looking at them, they change shape. No, they change size in every Doctor Who story. So it's almost as though after the story finished, the costume team didn't really keep the outfits, or they rehired them again, very likely, but didn't have the badges, so had to make a new set. So that's the reproduction SAS beret. That's what you need on your head. The webbing, I think this is a 57 pattern or 59. I could be wrong. I will put that in the comments whether it's 57 or 59. Now, they usually just had their ammunition pouches there. They didn't have anything else. That's because I've learnt that in the military, if you're close to supplies, you don't really have anything. You don't really have everything with you. As I say, this isn't a historical video. This is about film and TV. So I like to give my unit trooper the kidney pouches, so it looks like a little bit more stuff's going on, you know. There's a little bit more few supplies in there to fight the alien hordes. So let's take the 57 webbing off, or 59. As I say, I shall put in the comments down below whether or not it's 57 or 59. Now, the main uniform is what's known as a pattern 60 combat uniform. So this is pattern 60. So I say it's very hot. This is the same outfit as the troops wore in remembrance of the Daleks at Coal Hill School. So this is the jacket. The unit patch, once again, they changed every time there was a unit story. The patches changed. So this one's quite big. They all seem to have a raw edge, so they're not finished off, so that's quite cool. So let's have a look. Let's take the jacket off. As I say, once again, this is not a historically accurate uniform. This is just film and TV. So when I take it off, I'm just wearing one of my old work tops, and I don't even have the trouser belt. So let's take that off there, and let's have a look at the label. Cool. I did actually buy a hood for this. You don't ever see unit troops using a hood, but I'm a completist and I wanted to have the hood with the jacket. So yes, pattern 60, there we are, 1960 pattern smock combat. So you need to look for 1960, so pattern 60 combat coat, combat trousers, that's what you need to look for. That's that, pattern 60. Get yourself some camouflage netting, scrim as they call it. Usually see the troops wearing them around their necks. I say this is a pleasure taking this off because it's actually very hot today. The trousers themselves, once again, pattern 60. Have a look, they should have the first aid pouch there and a single pocket on the side. Really need to create more room. And on the legs, on the ankles, we have 37 pattern gaiters. Now, these ones are khaki, these are typically World War II, but the unit troops wore both, as does the Brigadier. He changes from a World War II belt to a 1960s belt all over the place. But as they're a specialist unit, I like to think that's how they get away with it. The boots again, they were either World War II ammo boots, or I've seen them also wear these with the rubber soles. Now, there are plenty of work boots you can find that are 100% based on the old World War II ammo boots. So that's World War II ammo boots for the boots, for the unit troops. That rhymes. Pattern 37 gaiters. You can have them in khaki or green. Calendar pose there. Pattern 60 trousers. Look for the first aid pocket there and the single pocket on the side. These are actually double lined for the winter, so these are very hot for today. Pattern 60 smock. Look for the collar. And what do you want to carry as a radio? What would you like to carry if you were talking back to the other troops in your unit? Well, I can show you that as well. Let's go back to the unit patch. I was very lucky to get this many years ago, this patch. It came from eBay. I've never seen another one, but this was nicely done. And as I say, they change from story to story. And you can see it's got a raw edge. And I was really pleased to see that the unit troops had raw edge patches. Oh my God, here comes the Brigadier. Excellent. So if you're looking for the radio for the unit troops, you could go for the Pi pocket phone here, which I've seen the Brigadier use and I've seen Sergeant Benton use. These are both UK police radios from the 60s and 70s. There you go, I've seen the unit troops use those. Or you can use what is known as a Storno phone 800, that's what it's called, Storno phone 800. The Brigadier uses this. That's a very cool piece of kit. So if you want to get yourself an accurate unit radio, go for the Pi, P-A-Y-E pocket phone, or you can go for the Storno 800. And these are both vintage police radios from the 70s, 60s, 80s. He's back! Yes, I honestly thought this video was going to be longer, but I suppose that's it. How long can you take talking about a uniform? It's not historical, probably said that about 1,000 times. It's just a quick guide. If you want to put an original unit uniform together, that's the things to look for. World War II ammo boots, pattern 37 gaiters, get them in green or khaki, pattern 1960 trousers, look for the first aid pouch on the front and the single pocket on the side. 1960 pattern smock with the collar a bit like this. Camouflage scrim, netting to wear around your neck for the basic look. SAS beret. Good luck with the badges. I mean, my unit cap badge I had to kind of make, but I'm sure there are plenty of vendors that will do amazing plastic versions. And having said that, most of, in fact, all of the unit badges, literally, they do look like they are literal safety pin badges, because a lot of times you can see the safety pins on the edge when you get the close-ups of Sergeant Benton or Mike Yates wearing them. So yeah, and Rifle wise, you want to be looking for an SLR. Obviously go down the rubber route. There are plenty of cosplay companies now that would make rubber guns for film and TV, but they do them for cosplayers as well, so go for an SLR. Or the Sterling submachine gun, which is also a great one for the unit troops. I do have a genuine Sterling submachine gun. It's deactivated, but I converted it to a Stormtrooper rifle. It can convert back, but that's a lot of effort. When I've got an SLR, who needs it? Can take out Daleks with that if I put the anti-tank rocket on, which I do own. But unit were never into those. It was the Coal Hill School guys. Funny how they never really passed that information on. That would have really helped in Day of the Daleks. Anyway, take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, and I shall see you in the next one. It's a very hot day. Literally walking bare feet on the concrete is hot. It's hot, and I've got double weight winter trousers on. Well, that's the life of film and TV, isn't it, really? You got to suffer for your art. Anyway, take care, look after yourselves, and see you soon. I bet that was the wrong arm. As I say, it's not historical. I don't know what I'm talking about. I really don't. Bye.